4 different countries, France, Germany, Sweden, and Norway, have all just deployed military personnel to Greenland and are now making it very, very clear that they can and will defend their ally against us. In light of that, I want to walk you through the real-life repercussions of the United States invading Greenland. To do this, I'm actually going to read you some of Brent Molnar's excellent piece on the topic, which he published this week on his site, and which you should absolutely go read in full because it is horrifying in a way that every American needs to hear right now. If the United States follows through on the threat to invade Greenland, we need to be crystal clear about what happens the next morning. This is not a real estate transaction or a routine military exercise. It is the geopolitical equivalent of pulling the pin on a grenade in a crowded elevator. The moment that American boots hit the ground in Nuuk to seize territory from a fellow NATO member, the world as we know it ends. The consequences will not be temporary sanctions or angry letters. They will be total, permanent, and devastating. The first domino to fall is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization itself. NATO is built on the sacred promise of Article 5 that an attack on one is an attack on all. If the United States attacks Denmark, we are not just breaking the treaty, we are triggering it against ourselves. NATO dissolves instantly. The alliance that kept the peace in Europe for 75 years evaporates, leaving the continent to rearm and realign against the new aggressor across the Atlantic. We don't just lose an ally, we create a unified enemy. The military repercussions will be swift and humiliating. Europe will immediately demand the closure of every US military base on the continent. Our ability to project power into the Middle East and Africa vanishes overnight. We will be evicted from the very soil that we helped liberate and defended for decades, forced to retreat to our own shores as a fortress nation, isolated and friendless. Then comes the economic nuclear option. The European Union is the largest single market in the world, and they will weaponize it. Europe will likely move to call in US debt and dump their dollar reserves, sending the value of our currency into a death spiral. The United States economy, which relies on the dollar being the global reserve currency, will collapse. Inflation will make the post-COVID spikes look like a rounding error. Your savings will be worthless before the ink dries on the invasion orders. Corporate America will face an extinction event. US companies will be expelled from the European market. Trillions of dollars in market capitalization will be incinerated in minutes. The stock market will not just crash, it will close. We are talking about the complete deglobalization of American industry, cutting us off from the wealthiest consumers on the planet. The logistical arteries that feed our supply chains will be severed. We will be cut off from European medicine, machinery, and technology. The cultural isolation will be just as stinging. The International Olympic Committee and FIFA will have no choice but to bar the United States from competition, just as they did with Russia. There will be no World Cup matches in New Jersey. There will be no Team USA in the Olympics. We will be treated as a pariah state, unwelcome on the global stage, forced to watch the world celebrate without us. This is the end of trust, and it does not reset. You cannot invade a democratic ally and then say, "My bad," 4 years later. The psychological break will be permanent. Europe will realize that the United States is no longer a partner, but a predator. They will build their own defense architecture, their own financial systems, and their own alliances that specifically exclude us. The West will continue, but the United States will no longer be a part of it. Invading Greenland is not a show of strength. It is an act of national suicide. We are trading our reputation, our economy, and our security for a frozen island and a handful of minerals that we cannot even process. The price of this real estate deal is everything that we have built over the last century. If we cross this line, there is no going back. We will be the lonely superpower ruling over nothing but our own decline.